damn near empty my quiver against this horde. We're outnumbered. Badly.
A Black Ring captain stands before you. She looks remarkably ordinary, you think, as far as Black Ring go. But then you hear a voice inside your head.
Tell me who you are, or I will kill you. And do not doubt me, for I tell the truth.
Her expression does not change. She cannot read your mind, but you can read her face, and you see she grows impatient.
Tell me who you are, or I will kill you. Then they may live, for now. That they may kill the divine pigs, and kill the God-woken, kill them all, and then perhaps they die and rise again.
Every weapon in my stock has spilled blood in honor of the God King. If you can't do the same, then the fault lies with you. What'll it be, Thrall? A bow? A few feet of sharp steel? On your way, then. I have steel to sharpen.
A black ring witch stands before you, cool and collected, breathing easily, her steady gaze upon you betraying a hint of disdain, and of intrigue too. You may fancy you can hear her heartbeat. Then the regular thump, thump, thump stops. A smile twitches upon her lips. Suddenly her heart goes boom, like the erupting of a volcano. Boom, boom, boom. Her heartbeat returns to normal, and she gives you a look filled at once with menace and with lust. A look that says you cannot touch her heart. An undead reaver lifts a clay goblet of wine and drinks deep. Only the wine trickles out through a hole in his side a moment later. He glances at you with a shrug.
Force of habit. Life will taste good again once the God King's victory is sealed. I don't need confidence. I have faith. The God King restores the injured, resurrects the fallen. I lay dead and forgotten until he brought me back. He rewards the loyal.
The reaver utters a dry cluck of disapproval from the desiccated remains of his throat.
Your mistress should have enlightened you, thrall. The God King is the true king. The so-called seven gods betrayed him and cast him down. Now it's time for him to rise again.
He looks you in the eyes, raises the palm of his hand towards you. Serpent-like coils writhe beneath the skin. The skin blackens. Noxious black smoke pours from him. Into your mouth, your tongue turns dry, then rough, almost scaly, and you feel your source, unsettled, as if attracted to the man's black eyes. As the black smoke snake takes over your tongue, you feel yourself slipping away. You see a vision, an army of the undead, risen to turn the world to a lifeless waste. At its head, a God King. The smoke snake returns to its master. Your mouth returns to normal, and with a sibilant hiss, the alchemist begins to laugh. He tips his temple in salute. For a moment, a black smoke snake coils around his fist, and then is gone.
enemies shall be cast down.
The Reaver gives one last wistful look to the goblet before letting it drop to his side.
No matter. The true reward is yet to come.
The God King demands blood because the God King is our true Lord and Savior. He's going to right the wrongs of the Seven. Not that I'd expect some bloody thrall to understand.
You serve the God King now, so kill the Divine Order pigs, and kill the Godwoken. Go kill them all. Go serve the King.
The dreamer's eyes have rolled over white. His fingers twitch as you near. A cold presence suddenly seizes you. Your breath shortens, and a voice enters your mind, probing. It is you, the prey that my master seeks, Godwoken. The cold presence ebbs away. You take a deep breath. The voice offers parting words. Very well. Go, in service of the God King. The dreamer's eyes do not see you. His mind is elsewhere, locked in a dark rapture as he torments the Magister. The Magister cowers, oblivious to you. The dreamer is twisting her own mind into a maze of her worst nightmares.
They're crawling. They're crawling under my skin. Get them out!
Your enemies shall be cast down. The wrongs of the Seven shall be put right, thanks to the God King. Obey him, honor him, feed him death. And you the covenant will be kept. The loyal shall be
Even though her tormentor is dead, the Magister is still paralyzed with fear. Her mind is gone.
Don't like it, don't like it, don't like it.
How this thing even moves, you do not know. A black ring priestess turns to you. Her astonishing beauty takes your breath away. Her gaze drifts past you, and you realize that she's blind. She breathes in, as if tasting the air, as if tasting you. She produces a mirror of darkest black, holds it up as if to look upon her own magnificence, and then speaks as if to herself.
I found God woken.
She waits a moment, as if listening to her own reflection.
It shall be done, O sallow one.
She closes the mirror, looks at you directly, almost as if she can see you, and then she smiles. A smile to melt the heart, a smile to drown in, a smile to send an army off to war. The priestess holds her hand out to you and smiles. A smile to freeze the heart. A smile to set a forest all ablaze. A smile in which to gladly bleed to death.
Take me.
Her hand slides into yours, and you are whisked away, far across the oceans and the forests and the mountains, to a city on a dusty plain. You're in an alleyway, dark and dank, and you wear a hood. You're ragged and dirty, twisted and bent. You move with a stooping sideways gait. Thirsty, while the shopkeeper's back is turned, you approach a barrel of water and bend to drink. You catch a glimpse of your own reflection. Your skin is discolored, your features deformed, your nose hooked. Whack! The shopkeeper cuffs you about the head, shoves you away, and tells you to clear off. He calls you hag and crone and old witch, though you have only just reached maturity. You reach for the curved dagger hidden in your stinking robes. She laughs, a laugh like ringing bells.
Both and none.
You race through a maze of alleyways as behind you the alarm is raised. You hide in a darkened corner as the pursuing mob draws near and sense a presence behind you. You turn. A man's pale face floats high above you in the gloom. He smiles and offers you his long-fingered, long-nailed hand. You know this is the God King's sallow envoy. There is no choice to make. You step from your hiding place as the mob goes racing by, crying thief and witch and hag. None but the younger men give you a second glance. They give you a third glance and a fourth. You find a mirror in your pocket. You open it and stare into the black glass. The most beautiful woman you have ever seen looks back at you. You smile. And so does she. And you will remember the beauty of that smile until beyond your dying day. The last thing you ever saw before the veil came down. Because now, your sight is fading. Darkness descends, and quickly you are blind. Your other senses rise, and you hear and feel and smell the world. You are not lost. You shall never be lost again.
I served the God King well. I shall return. I belong to the God King. I belong to the...
Now you can forget her. She belongs to you at last. She seems to look right through you. That smile...
The God King did all this and more for me. He can do the same for you. Join him. I belong to the...
Now you can forget her.
magisters and paladins, all dead.
A hulking black-ringed captain glares at you with his one eye. The other one, a weeping socket surrounded by recent burn wounds.
You're not one of mine. You're not from headquarters either. Explain yourself, or I'll open you up and rip out an answer myself.
His blade is inching out of its scabbard, even as he speaks.
Almira, apologies, mistress. I'd never have dreamed of questioning any thrall of yours.
He bows and gestures for you to pass.
Yow! Thank you, mistress. Pass freely.
See how we turn the world the Seven created against them? We drown their very temples with the oceans themselves. The God King will smile upon us.
That conjurer laid waste to an entire temple in an instant. After we bled ourselves dry trying to take it. Whatever reward that was coming to us is all for her now.
The captain tries to angle the blade of his sword to catch a glimpse of his injuries in its reflection. He winces at the damage before seeing you approach.
Mistress Almira, how can I be of service? Orders. Mistress Almira. We couldn't take the Orc Temple by force. There's too many traps in there. I lost half my troops and my eye. The conjurer over there was dispatched to us to help flood the temple with seawater instead. I won't fail the next time, though. I swear. But I can't, Mistress Almira. We have orders. The temple has to stay submerged. As you wish, Mistress Almira. Move out. On the double!
A saltwater crocodile looks around, seemingly disoriented. It spots you.
Where'd the water go? Why does my head hurt so much? The shore, yes. After a rest.
The crocodile slumps down and closes its eyes.
Ugh.
I have no idea what any of this means. It looks like this place gave the Black Ring a bloody nose. Best be careful ahead.
The spirit of a Black Ring Defiler frantically drags something, or someone, backwards with both hands. He glances around for help as he retreats. Something beneath his heel clicks.
Help! Somebody douse the flame! Douse the floor!
A spectral arrow suddenly lodges itself between his eyes with a hollow thwack. His face turns slack and confused before he collapses backwards in a heap.
Look out! I see a trap nearby.
Look out! I see a trap nearby. Look out! I see a trap nearby.
The spirit of a Black Ring Witch flails and writhes on the floor, engulfed by ghostly flames. An unseen force hauls her backwards, as if to bring her to safety. The faint sound of an arrow being loosed echoes through the hall. Whatever force has been dragging the witch abruptly stops. She goes limp. The flames consume her.
Look out! I see a trap nearby.
That's a trap.
Look out! I see a trap.
Look out! I see a trap nearby.
Careful now. That's a trap. Look out.
ancient-looking lever stands before you. It's still damp from the recently receded floodwaters. There's a small slot in the side of the lever, almost like a keyhole. The lever groans in protest, but cannot resist you. It creaks back towards you. A deep rumble heralds the wall beyond sliding downwards, a hidden door.
Can't make heads nor tails of this.
Vrogir's culture was so focused on brutality and violence, yet they write so beautifully of it.
Kneeling before you is the spirit of a priest, an orc priest. He produces an ornate dagger and slices open the palm of his hand. Around him, a sound suddenly rises to a roar of rushing water.
Vrogir, I am your servant to my last breath.
He daubs the altar with his spectral blood and bows. The roar of water intensifies. He is suddenly swept forward. His skull hits the altar with a crunch. The spirit of another orc stands before you, a priestess. She gapes at something looming high above her, approaching from the other side of the hall. She staggers back a few steps. An echoing roar fills your ears, rushing water. The priestess turns to flee, but is suddenly blasted off her feet by an immense, unseen force. The grim drip, drip, drip of floodwater and the bloated body at your feet make this place feel more like a defiled tomb than a temple. Nevertheless, you approach the altar. Your vision clouds, and you open your eyes to a dark glade. Before you lies a bull, trapped beneath a fallen tree. It stares at you with malevolent eyes. As you watch, it transforms to a bear, claws digging into the earth as it struggles to dislodge the log. You blink, and it turns again. A gorilla now. It's vaulted back, pushing hard against the wood. After a few more minutes' struggle, it slumps to the ground, defeated, and its contemptuous eyes return to you.
Strength! Give me your vigor!
The god shifts shape again, contorting into a snake. Grimacing, you reach out your hand, and Vrogir sinks his fangs deep into your palm. You feel his curse spreading throughout your body as your strength starts to ebb away. At the same time, the snake grows stronger and starts to pulse with a faint light. You drag your hand back before the very last of your vigor slips away, and you stand hunched over and gasping for breath. The gentle glow within Vrogir grows brighter until you struggle to look at him. The god bursts into yellow flame, searing its way through the log. Vrogir transforms again, standing before you in his true orcish form, before snorting in derision and walking away. The vision slowly fades, and you are back in the temple, the smell of damp death filling your nostrils. You see that a crude sun pictograph has been hacked into the altar's rock.
I found something.
Look out, I see a trap nearby. Careful. I've spotted a trap.
The spirit of another orc stands before you, but this one is formidably armored and extraordinarily angry.
Dogs, skulking vermin, cowards.
He hurls the warhammer away with a final yell, before turning to you with a deep scowl, panting for breath that he no longer needs.
Godwoken, you're here. Did you kill the Black Ring runts who defiled Rogear's temple, who flooded this sacred temple, rather than test me in battle? Oh, wait. Torture? Dismemberment? No matter. Rogear's temple is restored. Those heretics cannot dull his might. This temple was a fortress. My traps made it untouchable, unpassable. That weasel, that sad old man, he responded not with strength, but with soggy cowardice, and made me look the fool. Face me, you milk-livered mouse! The world grew too civilized for us. No plunder, no glory, nothing to make our hearts quicken. My people left you to your cities and farms and soft beds. They went far in search of a place where they could be alive. But I am a knight of Rogear. I stand vigil. I do not know what became of him.
Look out, I see a trap nearby. Look out, I see a trap nearby. Careful.
Look out!
I've spotted a trap.
If I understand this correctly, it reads, walk safely in Vrogir's path.